Welcome back to Ravaged, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Coco. This is Morgan, and welcome to our YouTube page and our podcast, wherever you are, whether you're watching or you're listening. Welcome.
Welcome. So today we're going to talk about books that we've loved. We're going to talk about alien stories that we've really enjoyed. These are kind of our favorites. And yeah, so I guess Coco, take it away. What's your favorite alien book?
All right.
For
So I've
you.
got I've got two of my favorite alien books.
Okay.
All right. The first one is a standalone called Bet's Stable, and it's a funny one too. I found myself laughing and giggling a lot throughout that book. It's quite interesting. This human girl gets abducted. I should always do this before I start like discussing these books. Spoiler alert, guys,
Oh yeah, we
because
need a spoiler at the front of all of these episodes, I
I
think.
really do. Every time I'm just like, let me just dive right into the story without preparing anybody for what I'm going to say.
Twist ending.
They all die. um, but yeah, so this human girl, spoiler alert, this human girl gets abducted, and she wakes up. So, how did they phrase it in the book? So she was, they put her in like one of those sleep
Stasis.
stasis. That's the word. Stasis pod, all that, and then I think it's like about 6 months later or something. She wakes up and she's like on a spaceship. She's like, what the fuck? And she's basically being they're auctioning her and different aliens and individuals off as well. So it's not just humans,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's like a even like rare aliens, different aliens, and that. But plot twist, she realizes she's like 6 months pregnant, and you find out that like I think her ex or something is like an asshole, leaves her or something. Like she didn't know she was pregnant
Hmm.
before she gets abducted, and then she wakes up. She's like, "Oh damn!" And I know you don't like
Oh, damn.
I know
Oopsie
you don't like
daisies.
pregnancy in that, but to be fair, she doesn't have the baby until like the end of the book. Like, so there's no like baby running. She's just pregnant. And it's just funny to see the dynamic of these alien guys that she ends up being with, because one of them buys her at this auction. He's like, that's I'm taking her. And he's like the funny character. So he's really funny. Basically claims her, calls her his Beth. It's my Beth toy or something like that. And she's like, the fuck, dude, you cannot call me a toy. Like, this isn't okay. And he dresses her up really skimpy like, and she was like her belly is just like, this isn't appropriate. Like, you cannot put like a little Vanadu top on me and skirt, and my belly is only like, she's like flipping out. He doesn't understand her and she doesn't understand him, and it's really funny. But she has a translator, so they actually do understand each other,
Yeah.
but like culturally they
Culturally, yeah.
understand each other. And then he just like takes her to the spaceship, and I'm pretty sure she ends up being like mated to like the, if I remember, I've read this book a while ago, guys. I've read it a few times, and I feel like I'm gonna do a reread now because I really like this book. But yeah, so there's about one, two, three, four, five, about five guys. They're quite interesting. They've got human-like appearances, but they've got like razor teeth and pointed ears and like different elements, and that
Mm-hmm.
make them alien in that. And they basically pop her on the ship with them, and it's just her getting to know them playing pranks, and it's a funny one. It's like a really light-hearted,
Okay,
funny
fun.
alien
Yeah.
one. It's fun. I found it to be really fun, which I really liked about it. Um, and it was the best part for me was when she when she sees their dicks for the first time, alien peen. It is
Well,
so
that's the
funny.
best thing. The writers who write about alien penis is the
Honestly,
best.
it's the greatest thing. And she's like, what the hell? Because there's like, spoiler alert, gotta keep doing this. There's like
Spoiler.
there's like a
Like
thing
a flap or
attached,
something?
like a film yeah, like flappy film thing that you kind of have to push back, and she doesn't know, and she's like, it kind of gets stuck on her, like on her face, like she's trying to give her a
Oh,
blowjob, and it's kind of like, she's like, what the fuck is this? And it's like a whole thing, and it's really funny in the actual thing. But what's really cool is she gives one of them a blowjob and realizes that their cum tastes like, it's like sweet, like
oh, all right. I'm
actually
in. Yep.
like flavors that she like enjoyed like back in like Earth, like things like that. She's like, what the hell? So she just goes to random ones. She's like, oh my God, I'm gonna blow you now and like try out you and things like that. It's quite funny. It's quite interesting. It's Yeah, it's hilarious. And I'm
What do you
there's a
like
little
about the alien? Because I know you quite like the alien genre.
I
What
really
is
do
it that
like
you
it.
like about it?
Oh, I like that it's infinite.
Okay, yeah.
Like there's so much that you can create and make and name and be, and there's just it's just a whole world that you can keep creating and creating and creating and being in. And there's just like this I don't know, I find it really magical as well.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like
It
I
can be
like the idea of
anything, you can
it
create
can be
anything, be anything. Yeah.
exactly. And I really like the idea of two very different species. Like even when we read our supernatural books and like the fantasy, you've got the werewolves, but they're still human that turn into wolves, or you've got the vampires who are more human, just have the fangs, or even
Mm.
like fae and things like that. There's still like
Human
a
element
human
to it.
element to
Yeah.
them. Whereas with these, some of them have horns and tails and all these different like different colors and things like that. So it's quite different, which I
And the way
really
they
like.
talk about the beauty of these aliens is quite interesting because, they aren't human, but they're still like beautiful or
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like that. In Beth's stable, they do have more of a human appearance, but I
Mhm.
feel like that's just the way they've done it, which I really like because it is more lighthearted and a fun kind of way. Um, but yeah, so that's like my first. It's like my go-to. I want to like take a break, have a laugh, enjoy something different. That's the book that I go to. I really, really like that one. And my second Alien versus Harem favorite is the Forsaken series by K.A. Knight and Loxley Savage.
Yep.
Capturing Carmen. I've just got my partner because he finally, as we all know, guys, he's finally, after months, finished Den of Vipers. And
Took
now
for ages.
from August, it took him from August to January to
I've been
finish Den
waiting to
of
question
Vipers.
him about this, so I'm so glad that he's read
I
it.
know, I know. But we'll see how long it's going to take him to finish because I got him to download Capturing Carmen now too. So I really, uh, we really like Kay Knight's
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
writing in general. She's an amazing, amazing author. I've read a few books by Loxley Savage as well, and I really enjoy her books too. So their collaboration on this series is really good. I really enjoyed it.
Mm.
So so there's three books out in this series, and each book is about a different girl. You meet all the girls in the first book.
Mhm.
They're all friends. So this spoiler alert, this reverse harem series is about Earth gets invaded by aliens. They want to destroy them. So this other alien race comes in and is like, we can help you, we can destroy them and get them off if in turn you can tell us or let us see if any of your females are compatible to our warriors in that, because we are, they don't have enough women and they want to be able to keep creating, life and stuff. And so there are certain girls that are compatible. Not all girls are compatible, so they can't just take the girls. But the ones that are called harvest girls, and they live in a harvest, it's called like the harvest house or something.
Mm.
And they're there really young, and they're raised and taught and educated on alien races and the different aliens there are, and the different clans that you can end up being matched with and stuff. And Carmen is the first girl you introduce, and Carmen's like the badass. Carmen's like the one that breaks all the rules, that just does anything she wants. Like the first scene is her the first chapter is her convincing the girls to like sneak out and go party, and she's like getting ready to have like a threesome with these two guys. Are like, oh my god, are you serious? She's like, yes, that's fucking, like, she doesn't give a fuck, which I really, really love about her. And then the aliens find out that they ran away, so they will go, they grab them, and then they ship them off to, I think like they weren't meant to leave as early as they did, but because they fucked up like that, they end up going. And it starts off with, so each girl gets changed to like this top of like this mountain. I think it's called the Forsaken Mountain. I can't remember, Forsaken, something like that. And then it's these different clans that are fighting and literally killing each other to get to them. So whoever reaches them first wins her. Like they're worthy.
Oh, okay. Yep, yep.
Yeah. And so these different aliens of like, her guys are like purple with, I'm pretty sure they had horns and a tail. I'm 100% sure they had a tail, but savages, like like killing everybody else to get to her. And her character, I really like her character because she's just there like tied up going, yes, and like, whoa, like enjoying all the bloodshed and just like, fucking get me. And it's like, we're just like really into it. And she's just as savage as they are. And so
Yeah,
so
I
there's
like that when the female matches the male for like their kind of
yeah.
aggressive possessiveness. I like that.
Yeah. And then like the other two stories about the other two girls, and like the second one, the girl isn't as, I might be getting them mixed up between those two girls, Harlow, and the other one I think is Shiloh, but one of them isn't as crazy as Carmen, but still, you know, strong in her own way. And then the other one is more timid, and then the other one kind of gets like kidnapped by the wrong ones and is basically gets abused for a while before her actual clan. So even the clan, like you said, the clan matches them in a way, and they're very protective and stuff. And it's really good. I really enjoyed that series a lot, and I'm waiting for the next because I think there's like two more. I'm pretty sure there should be two more Harvest Girls. They haven't
Written yet.
Yeah, one or two more. And so I'm waiting to see when that comes out. But I know that both of those authors are just, you know, constantly writing.
Yeah.
This new book.
Well, they're kind of two big time in this kind of genre for like releasing. Actually, no, no, I think she's been releasing a lot of just normal romance. What do you call
normal?
Normal. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the term. But,
yeah.
Just normal. No extra pain.
Yeah, just the one.
Just the one. Oh, boring. No.
Honestly, I can't read it anymore.
No, I can't. I've tried, but I like all the characters. I like the mix. I like the banter. You just don't have, it's not the same when it's just them. And I've got to say, the love stories are always predictable when it's like guy meets girl, guy tries to woo girl, guy does something to upset girl, guy wins girl back over, and then they live happily ever after. Like that's literally the story for all of them. And so this where it's like there's just so many different, like some of them want her, some of them don't want her, the different things, the sex stuff is all different, like, you know, the villains are usually quite different, you know, it's different. It's just bigger, I guess. The whole world and the things are bigger, there's more complexity to it. I guess so. My favorite ones, I haven't read as much as you have. You've read a lot more in this genre than I have, but I really like the Stacey Jones stuff. So both of her series, Chosen, which is 3, she actually recently released a 4th book, which I haven't read yet. Because she ends the 3rd book, a spoiler, where she adds an extra additional person to the harem at the end. But it's kind of just written in the last few weeks because of something that kind of happens, subplot kind of thing. And so then I think she's gone back and rewritten their actual love story of how this 4th guy gets brought in. So it really probably should be kind of slotted just before the end of the 3rd book, but she's went back and tied up all those loose ends.
Is this one with the aliens are the like the furry ones with the markings on them?
Yeah, and they're very tall.
I've read the first one.
Yeah, it's really, really great series. The aliens are quite they're quite humanish. There's nothing. They've got 2 sets of arms, and they've got like a fine fuzz fur kind of covering them. They do have tails. They've got tails, but yeah, they are quite human looking. What I also love is that all of her books come with drawings of the aliens, so you know exactly how she wants them to look. So anyway, the Chosen by Stacey Jones is fabulous. And also her other series, which is the first one's called, the series is called Taken. The first one's called Arya's Awakening. That's really interesting. It's really good. So Arya, she was an FBI agent who her conscious kind of wakes up in her body, and she realizes she's in like this gladiator arena fighting for her life. And then it kind of cuts back to her being in her FBI office, and she's seeking therapy to say these dreams I'm having are really like real. I somehow I feel like I'm fighting these gladiators at night, but then I'm back in my body at day. And then it kind of goes from there. And she's got 3 fated mates that she meets through the first 2 books, and there's an extra guy as well that she will potentially get with. And then so the first two books are about Aria and her kind of the world that they've been taken to. It's very like interesting. It's this kind of like gladiator world where there's all these gladiator rings and all of this stuff. It's quite cool. So it's about their kind of takedown of that world. And then the next two, so then that book kind of, the second book kind of ends with like a plane spaceship crash, and Arya and her guys kind of help rescue the people from that. It just kind of coincides that it kind of happens right next to where they are. And so then the next two books are about Victoria, and she was been just abducted, and about her then meeting her guys, and how her and Arya's kind of group, how they kind of build up this world and the way that they're going to live and get all these different types of aliens that have all been kind of kidnapped into like kind of create this little like mini town city for them. And then there's the fifth one, which is then about Arya. I think is in a kind of her dominating the planet kind of thing. I haven't read the fifth one yet. It was released last year, but yeah, it's a really good series that's done. I was kind of put off because I don't usually like when they the spin-offs, but the way that they've done, she kind of slips in Victoria's series two books. It's actually really good, and it builds onto everything, so it's not separate. Arya's people kind of have to go away to do things, and so you're left in this civilization that they're building with Victoria and her guys, and then kind of how it's all kind of going from there. And Arya is a real kick-ass ex-FBI kind of fight-em gal, and Victoria is kind of just like that typical lost soul, kind of like dropped out of college, didn't know what she was doing with her life, and then oopsie daisy, she's been abducted, and so she's put on this planet, and she's going, not only do I not know what I want to do with my life, I'm now being abducted. And her aliens are I love them. They are very Arya's of like big kind of fighter characters, and they're very pushy in the way that they love her, but Victoria's are very soft, and they just and it's the cultural, like they're all trying to woo her, but she's so dense that she just doesn't understand that's what they're trying to do, and so they're trying to surprise her, but she thinks that, you know, there's all these like miscommunications. It's kind of like a lot of the typical tropes of like a romance where, you know, you misconstrued something and you think it's one thing but it's the other thing, and it's quite cute when they all kind of finally get together. It's quite nice. So that's my favorite. I'm
gonna add that one to my, the way you explain that seems really interesting, so I think I really like that.
Stacey Jones, I think she's a good writer. She's good at building world building. I think that's really important. And in like the alien stuff, you know, you can build the aliens, but if the world around it isn't interesting, it kind of loses everything. But she has built a really good world, and The Chosen actually ties into one of the characters who's referenced. She is actually brought into the Arias series as well. So, and it does tie, they both kind of tie across, but they're in different you just have to read them, I guess, otherwise I could talk about them for ages. But yeah. So
what have you rated them?
Oh, I think Chosen is fabulous. I would give that a 5. There's not much I would do to improve it. I guess the only thing would be building up the world maybe a bit more, but there's enough there, I think. I think it kind of leaves you wanting more. You wish it was longer, but I can't really tell you, like the length would then be their lives, you know, like there's nothing more that she could build to the plot. I just like love the characters so much and their relationship, but I'm like, I just want a little bit more. And same as the Taken series, 5. Loved it. It was great, and there's not much more I could do to that. I think it was really great.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna have to do Chosen again, and definitely read the Taken one. The Taken one sounds really good. Like that sounds like my vibe.
Yeah, I think you'd really like that one. I think Chosen might be a bit too soft for you now, but the you hardcore. You need something. You're wearing a bandana. You are hardcore today.
100%. I feel like I look like a pirate.
I like it. It's a good look. All right, I guess that's us for today. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.